Welcome to the third episode of Fundamental Fridays. I'm your host, Austin Serrata. As usual, per usual, I have my longtime friend and great co-host, Nicholas White.
What's good, y'all? What's good?
You know, it's kind of getting surreal. You know what I mean? We've been doing this for a little while now. It's crazy to see how far we've come and how much farther we need to go. But overall, I sit here and I think, I think we've done a pretty good job so far. I think we have. You
Nah, for
know,
sure.
but on time upload schedule almost every day. There has been one hiccup. There has been one hiccup where I accidentally uploaded the same part twice. But
It
you
happened.
know, yeah, it happens. At the same time, and thank everybody out there who tunes in daily, who tunes into every episode, who sends me text messages if you have my number saying some stuff about the podcast. Thank you to everybody out there. I know it's kind of a weird intro, a weird beginning to the episode, but I just want to give a little shout out to not only ourselves but to everybody out there that watches, that listens, because without this, without y'all, none of this would be possible at the end of the day. But we're gonna jump right into it. Say normal fundamental Friday. We're gonna start it off just like we normally do. Intros, like we just did. Start bench cuts, per usual. And me and Nick, I have been kind of. This is gonna be good, I think. And then some news, and then hopefully by this time we'll have some viewers. And actually, let me tweet out the stream real quick. Bam, here, bang, we are live. Emoji, and hold on, paste, maybe. Go paste, tweet, bang. All right, let's tweet it out. Hopefully we'll have some people. But anyway, normal episodes, and maybe later whenever we get into it, I want to see other people's thoughts, and opinions on the start bench cut because I actually think it could be pretty debatable in my opinion. A lot of good, three great players. But anyway, and then we'll have some news until people get in here, until people can comment, and then we'll improvise from there. However, let's get right into it. Start bench cut, as per usual. Uh, we have Dwayne in their prime. Not now because obviously now they're all kind of bums, but in their prime, we have Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Tracy McGrady.
All
Who
right.
do you got?
We talked a little bit before the episode, a little bit about all three. I've seen this on Twitter a couple times, and I've gone back and forth actually with my decision making when it comes to these three, um, because I mean I don't know if it's like common, but we kind of forget about Melo's prime, like
I mean,
because
he
of
never
this
he never
like
really won
yeah this farewell tour that he's trying to have or whatever you want to call it. Like
whatever it
he's
is.
he's
Whatever.
being painted out to be a bum. Like it's a very bad farewell tour. Begging to be on a team, stats aren't great. I mean, yeah, he's playing pretty well
They're
with Portland, but
they're
he's getting
decent, but they're
yeah,
forced at the same time.
exactly. And like he's playing well with Portland, yeah, but he also gets 40 shots a game. So it's like I hope you do something in that time period.
Oh, bad.
But
Exactly.
I'm actually going to cut him.
Oh,
He is he is the worst defender out of the three. And I think
okay.
because of his high volume of shooting, that can actually like hurt a team. Which actually people have came out to say like he doesn't care about winning; he just wants individual stats. I think Chauncey Billups came out and said that. I don't want a guy like that on my team, and I think because of this whole like farewell tour, I think it's diminishing his reputation. It's diminishing his career. So I'll cut him, and then I'll bench Dwayne Wade because I think that his 3 point shot, the lack of him being able to shoot a 3 point shot has actually hurt him as a NBA player. He essentially started in a generation in which the 3 point shot was like, all right, it was there, but it wasn't as prominent as it is. And he ended his career a worse 3 point shooter. It's like, bro, like you could have evolved some way, somewhere, some
Somehow,
way.
some way, like you could have done something
And
in
I
the
mean,
gym.
I think only one of his rings was I wouldn't say earned. I just think that LeBron Chris Bosh and all those role players really carried their weight. Dwayne Wade played phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But I think that one championship with Shaq was the only one in which I actually credit him with. If that makes sense. But I mean, Tracy McGrady, I'm starting him because he's a 6'8" Kobe Bryant. I've said that multiple times. Kobe Bryant has said that multiple times about him. Can shoot the rock, can attack the basket, athletic as don't know what. And I really, really wish we could have seen him thrive with the Rockets before his injury. So I'm starting T-Mac, benching Dwayne Wade, and cutting Melo.
Okay, so here's the thing. I agree with you on Melo. Great player. I didn't do this because B hates or B loves Carmelo. I didn't do that to just put him in the dirt.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a point in time where we have to sit back and realize, like, yes, Carmelo was a great player and probably the best draft ever. I just think that his attitude is what's going to separate him from everything. He's always going to be looked at as the third best in that group. He's all in terms of him, Dwayne, and LeBron. He's going to be an Olympic legend. I will not doubt that. He's going to be an Olympic legend. First time that somebody's ever gone to 4 Olympics representing the United States. First time ever.
Yep.
But outside of that, there's really nothing to Melo. He's got a scoring title. He doesn't have any MVPs, does he?
Nope, no MVPs.
No MVPs, no all defense, no nothing. You know what I mean? So outside of that, it's just all-stars, scoring champ, Olympic gold medals. Pretty dry. That's pretty cut and dry. That's it for Melo. So Melo's definitely cut. That's me. Attitude's freaking ridiculous, and I just think that he is somehow managing to continue to tarnish his reputation. But moving on, I have to bench T-Mac. Yeah, I'll come out and say it. It's hard because I think that T-Mac's a great player who had his career sort of cut short by injuries because of his knee. But at the same time, T-Mac could never – he had the team to do it. I fully believe he had the team to do it, and he never got to that championship. Regardless, if it was just one, I would put him at somewhere like in my probably, maybe like top. He's definitely in top 15. I think he may be able to break that top 10 if he would have ever won a title.
Fact.
But his athleticism is not good. Like, there's no question about it. It was ridiculously athletic for a guy that was his height. And he could play guard 1 through 4. I think that he was a great player overall, and there's no doubt about that. But this man, Dwayne Wade, yes, he wasn't a 3-point shooter, but he didn't need to be. And he went out and took a bum squad to the championship by himself, won a championship. And on top of that, I think he ended up having, hold on, what did he average that year? Was that the year that he went? No, okay, my fault. That wasn't the year. They won the championship in 04?
I want to say 06.
06? Wait, here, it probably has his 3-time NBA champion.
06 or 08.
Yeah, something like that. Regardless, I just think that, in his earlier years, he was unstoppable, walking highlight reel, would give you 1 for 3 in terms of threes, so you had to respect it, and he could legit carry a team. Not many people out there can say, hey, this guy right here can carry a team. LeBron can carry a team. Mike could probably carry a team without Pippen, if we're being real. At least get 1 championship. You know what I mean? Yep. He could have gotten all 6 without Pippen. Without a doubt. But I know he could have at least gotten 1. And there was a bunch of other people that can sit here and say, yeah, they can carry a team. Dwayne Wade is just one of those people. And he didn't have half of the team that these other guys had. And he still went out and won. He went in with like a 36-year-old Shaq. So it's just, I got to give it to Dwayne. Not because of overall talent, but because he is a born winner, a superstar, future Hall of Famer, and he's just that guy. That's just me, though. That's just me.
I like that. No, I like that reasoning. I definitely, I had that acknowledged, but I didn't realize how much weight he actually carried on that Heat team. And to
he was
go,
on a bump squad. He shouldn't have
yeah,
even been that
facts.
close, to be real. He probably should have lost in the second round.
Yep.
But that's just me. That's just me. There's a lot you can go back and forth on that, but I think at the end of the day, everybody will agree, or no, I think that everybody will put Tracy McGrady as their start, like you did, because of the fact that like he's Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll like do any more like deep dive into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just put him on there because talent wise, I think kind of Tracy beats him out, but I think Dwayne Wade has just stupid athletic. His talent is right underneath Tracy's, and he can win by
Yeah.
himself. And it's just, I think that extra winning factor is what I would want. I wouldn't want Tracy. I would want a Dwayne Wade over Tracy. You know what I mean?
I
That's
like it.
just me. Yeah, that's just me. But anyway, all right. If you want to put in the comments, your thoughts, opinions, you know, whatever, um, go ahead and do that. We'd love to see it. But moving on, we're going to daily sports news. Now, per Nick's request, he wanted to talk about Sabrina Ionescu and her two goats of basketball. Now, if y'all didn't know, Sabrina Ionescu, who was the first pick in this year's draft in terms of WNBA, uh, overall the Russell Westbrook that can shoot in college basketball, women's college basketball, and everybody looks up to this woman in terms of that because she's just a dog.
She's tough.
Yeah, she's very tough. She's very tough. But anyway, her goats were Steph and Diana Taurasi. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't have any objection to the Diana Taurasi thing.
Yeah.
I think Diana is a GOAT. I would say she is the GOAT because I mean, she paved the way for women's basketball. Whether it's USA Olympic medals, championships. I mean, she's a born winner, like we've said, and like everybody knows. So I'm 100% in agreement with it. Where did Steph Curry come from, and what is wrong with her? What?
Didn't she sign with UA too, or am I tripping?
No, she's a Nike athlete. Why? Because she's a Kobe phenom. Like she's a Kobe fiend. She loves Kobe. Like Kobe was like her mentor. And exactly. I think she like tatted Mamba mentality or something like that. Well, why? What, did somebody ask her who was the GOAT of shooting? Like, no, that is not Steph. I'm sorry. Yes, Steph is a game changer. He is an influencer of basketball, whatever you want to call it. He's not even close to the GOAT conversation. Come on.
In the GOAT conversation.
Like, well, I don't know what.
3 in the GOAT conversation. Not my fault. He's not even top 10 in the GOAT conversation, in my opinion.
No. Like, come on. I just, the only reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I wanted to see everybody else's reaction. Why? Like, why would she say that? Why?
I don't know either. Because at the end of the day, like you said, she basically lived, breathed a Kobe at the end of the day. And to go out and say that, I mean, I would have been happy if she would have been like, oh yeah, LeBron's the GOAT.
LeBron, right. I would have
been cool with that. I'd been like, all right, you're wrong, but at the same time, it's not Steph. I would rather you choose anybody but Steph. Say Karl Malone. I don't care. He's got more of a freaking probably more of a what's it called resume for GOAT conversation than Steph does right now.
Somebody paid her to say that.
Somebody had to have paid her to say that because that's just ridiculous. I mean, you don't go out and just you're wrong. How are you that wrong?
Nobody bashed her for it, and I'm upset. Like I'm very upset.
Bad.
Flew by.
I saw on your tweet too. I saw on your tweet you were like there was only one answer and it was Kobe, and nobody commented. It's like, does everybody like agree with her or like what's up? But nah, moving on from her blasphemous talk. Bruce Bowen's top 5.
Speaking of blasphemous,
you know what? Let me just create a banner real quick. I'll put it up there. I'll just say it. I'll say it right now. Bruce Bowen's top 5 consisted of MJ, Kobe. I'm in order. MJ, Kobe, Bill Russell, Magic, and Tim Duncan. Let's be real. The Tim Duncan was to be expected.
We understand that Tim Duncan. We get it. We understand why he said that because that was his teammate. And I mean, Tim Duncan, let's be honest, is a top 10 player, but top 5 is very forced.
Yeah, top 5's forced. I'll even say that. He's my favorite player ever, and I'll say that. Top
But-
5's very forced.
But the most forced on there was Bill Russell. Like,
Why is everybody jumping on the Bill Russell train now? And, one document comes out, now all of a sudden Bill Russell's top 2 in the freaking league. Like, what is this? Like,
my thing on Bill Russell is, like I said the other day, bro, he played with 10 other basketball teams. Like, his league consisted of like 60 players. Like, he averaged 15 points in his career. 22 rebounds.
Yeah,
22 rebounds. Well, 15 points, like, I understand the 11
He
ring.
was only 6'9" too, so.
Come on, stop. Like,
It's
I would
just-
put, was Kareem on that list?
No. It's just
Kareem.
MJ, Kobe, Bill, Magic, and Tim. That's it. 1 through 5.
My question for you, Austin, is why did he not put LeBron? Why? Why?
Well, and I think it's because he played against LeBron, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think that, he played against an entirely different LeBron. He played against a LeBron that couldn't shoot to save his life, could barely pull a midi, and
Yep.
could just finish over anybody and everybody. And I'm not going to say locked his shit up, but he clamped him to an
Yeah.
extent, a good extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the point to where they got 4-0'd.
Yep.
Proudly, 2008 champs.
Yeah.
Anyway, or no, 2007 champs. My fault. 2007 champs.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter. But I think that's why he put him on there, because he was like, okay, well, if I can kind of hold you, you're not in the top 5 consideration. But that's unfair. That's just unfair. You don't do that. You played against a completely, totally different LeBron than what is now. If
Like,
it was
if you're-
now, you
yeah.
get destroyed.
If you're a basketball player, you have to understand that even though you may have played against a different person, or you may have played against this person and he wasn't that good, you have to understand that even though you're not playing anymore, you're still a facade of basketball, meaning you still watch it. You
Right.
still understand what a guy
bad.
can do on the court.
Bad.
But what I do appreciate is the Kobe love. I do like that, because ESPN, like I told everybody on the last podcast, they robbed Kobe at 9 completely. I don't know for why.
I don't know what
So I do appreciate the love. 2 is high. 2 is very generous, but I appreciate the love though. So shout out to you.
And I think that's why he did it. I think because he definitely saw the article.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that he's like, yes, Michael is the GOAT, but they robbed Kobe.
Yep.
And so I just think he was like, all right, let me come out with my own top 5. And I think Kendrick Perkins came out with his top 5 too. I think they were debating on it. And let me go see if I can find that real quick, because I really want to, what's it called? I really want to find, my fault. I really want to see what Kendrick Perkins thought.
And Bruce Bowen too. Let's not forget he played against prime Kobe, so he really understands the monster that Kobe was. So that is a good point.
Oh my God. Okay, apparently their show was just smoking some crack.
Oh,
Apparently,
Kendrick Perkins has been on some like weird
Kendrick Perkins stuff lately.
He's been on some drugs. Like he's been on some like big drugs lately, and I don't understand why. I don't get why. He's been talking crazy.
Okay, so he came out and said my top 5. Oh my dear Lord Jesus.
Put it on the banner.
Yeah. Here, let me see what I can do here. Let me, Hold up. Okay, let me put that up there. Okay, so Kendrick Perkins top 5. First off, he said top 5 all-time most skilled. You already know this is gonna be bad.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, starting at 5, Kevin Garnett. 4, Kyrie Irving. 3, KD. 2, MJ. 1, Kobe.
Wait. Start over. So, did I just hear
KG, Kyrie, KD, MJ, and Kobe.
Okay.
Like, what are we smoking here?
Yeah,
What is this show? They went on and they went on the same show. They went on the same show. And this man comes out with these top 5. Like, what are we on to the point where we're not putting LeBron in this conversation?
the top 5 most skilled?
Most skilled, and LeBron's still not on there. Like, how do you put Kyrie Irving in most skilled, but then not include LeBron, the best player of our generation, a dude that's 6'9", that can shoot, sort of, finish, rebound, pass, defend to an extent, but is an amazing shot blocker for his height. Like, how do you not put him in your top 5? Like,
but if we like look back on it, Kendrick Perkins said that LeBron was the GOAT. How is the GOAT?
True.
How is the GOAT
not on your top 5 most skilled?
I don't know. Kendrick Perkins, he
was smoking. He's been smoking. I mean, you know Kendrick Perkins. He's just that dude. KP's that dude. And if KP ever sees this, bro, please get on here so I can fry your bald, ugly, old-looking ass. Please,
like,
pardon my French.
First of all, we're not gonna slide past the fact he said Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was a great power forward. Don't get me wrong.
Him and your dad would get along really good in that conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm taking Tim Duncan over Kevin Garnett. I'm taking Larry Bird over Kevin Garnett. Like, come on, KP, bro.
Most skilled. I would do it.
KD, I'm okay with. MJ, obviously, I'm okay with, and Kobe, obviously, I'm okay with. But Kevin Garnett and Kyrie have to be cut. I'm sorry.
They have to.
There's no reason why they should be on there at all.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. But moving on. We're gonna go back to the news. So I don't know if you saw, but the NFL is proposing a rule change to the Rooney Rule. Now, the Rooney Rule has to do with minority executives being hired. I don't know the full extent of the rule, but I think it's to where you have to hire one minority executive and or coach. You have to, right? Does it always get followed? No, not at all. By all means, it is one of the least followed rules in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
However, the NFL has proposed to improve draft picks for minority hires. The NFL is considering a plan to improve draft picks for teams that hire minority candidates, either as coaches or general managers. A team under this plan, a team would improve its third-round pick by 10 spots. 10 spots for hiring a minority candidate as a general manager or equivalent level position, and 6 spots for hiring a minority candidate as head coach. The draft boost could stack, allowing a team to move up 16 spots altogether. You can move up half of the draft.
I mean, that's great and all, but like, I just, why is that a reward? Like, why are we in a society in which we have to give a reward to hire minorities? Like, here, we're going to try so hard to be a diverse community. Let's give you a reward for it.
It makes the NFL look bad. Like, it really does.
Come on. Like, just hire more coaches of the minority races or minority groups, such as women or, transgender community, whatever it may be. We don't have to
or even race, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just something, just do something. It's not hard. Like, look, there's a lot of good minority coaches out there. Brian Flores and Mike Tomlin being one of them.
Yep.
Or 2 of them.
Anthony.
Great coaches. Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn.
Another. Granted, he's just not being given a good team. I just don't think that he is being a good team.
Not at all.
But
Ron Rivera. I'm trying to think of more. There's got to be more that we're missing. Ron Rivera.
Your dad said KP's not in his right head. He missed his meal this morning.
He missed a lot of meals.
No, he did not miss a lot of meals. That man is big.
No, he had a lot of meals consisted of drugs. That's
But no, anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But it's like we have the minority coaches present. Obviously, it's not where we'd like to be, and the NFL agrees as well that it's not where we'd like to be. But why are we giving an incentive for this? Like, this should be something that's natural. Like, you should just naturally want to make your organization more diverse. You should naturally it shouldn't be forced. Like
the Niners defensive coordinator, that's another one.
Good point. And I know there's like a couple female like assistant coaches or like something like that, position coaches in the NFL. So it's like, I see why they're doing it. I see it, and I like the idea of you wanting to be a diverse organization, like our league, but there shouldn't be a reward for that. You shouldn't be
able to move up 16 draft picks because you hired a minority executive that you probably are just going, like, say if you do it for one draft, you're going to get so much backlash. The NFL will get so much backlash the second that this happens.
Yep.
You have a great draft. You have a great stacked draft, right? You go out and you hire a couple, say a minority general manager and a minority head coach at the same time. You move up 16 spots in the third round. You're chilling at like the 3 spot, let's say.
Yeah.
You're taking away from a team that needs it, and that you're probably going to just be like, okay, well, this isn't really a good draft to begin with. Let's just, clean house and let's bring in who we wanted to begin with. I'm not saying that that is a majority, and we're not going to bring race into this,
No.
but a majority. And, just completely kill the point just because you wanted to get a few spots up in the third round.
And let's not forget, you can essentially be a playoff team, like a good team, and still get a decent draft, not even a good draft pick.
Right.
What you got to do is hire a minority in your executive, which, I mean, we make it seem like that's such an easy thing to do, to hire somebody in an executive. Right. That's not an easy process at all. But still, essentially, I could be the Green Bay Packers, make it to the conference final or whatever, the division final, and I could still get a top 10 draft pick. Is that what you're telling me? Like,
top 10 third round draft pick.
Come on.
We may be making a lot out of nothing because it's 3 rounds.
Yeah, true.
But it's not the first, it's not the second, but it's the third. But a lot of people come out of the third. Like, no, exactly. I mean, a lot of them come out of all draft or all areas in terms of 1 through 4. But a lot of people can come out of the third, honestly.
Yeah, I just look at it from an ethics standpoint. I don't,
without a doubt.
I don't think this is ethically right at all.
It's not. Nobody should have to reward a team, or they shouldn't have to reward a team for hiring a minority executive. That should be a normal thing at this point, because, like we said, and this just coming from an organization, my organization, aka the Miami Dolphins, they have a minority general manager and have a minority head coach.
Yep.
They're doing great. They made some right moves this offseason, and they are continuing to make right moves, and they made good moves in terms of last season, aka their performance. Because nobody expected them to win however many games they won. I think they won 3. I can't remember.
I mean, nobody expected them to beat the Patriots, and they did.
Exactly. So it's just like, it shouldn't be to the point to where it's not normal yet. You know what I mean? Right. It should definitely be normal.
And then, we also forget to mention, like, on the flip side of it, if you're an executive, or you're a coach that gets hired, that's a minority. I only got hired because they wanted to hire a draft pick. That's essentially what it's going to come down to. Like, hey, the only reason I got hired is because they wanted to hire a draft spot.
No,
not because I can do my job well.
And with your dad's comment, it's like, yeah, that's probably going to happen. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
One of these teams is going to do it. I promise you, they're just going to go out. They're going to hire 4 minority executives or coaches.
Yep.
And just jump draft picks just like that, just bam, in a snap of an eye. They went from 19 to 3.
Yep.
And they're robbing.
You know how many coaches like an NFL team has, or like executive positions that an NFL team has, and all they got to do is hire a minority just to jump draft picks.
Yeah, it's a general manager or same level. So if somebody gives a team manager, or like like a president, like a team president, or like maybe even like a VP of football operations or a VP of operations, like you probably that could fall under the same category. I'm not too sure.
It's forced, and I don't like it.
It's very forced. It's ridiculous, and it's sad.
I hope that doesn't go through. Let's just say we hope that it doesn't.
I hope it's a proposal. So to end it, but Aaron Rodgers.
You got a question?
So Rachel, Nick, you don't know, but Rachel is my great friend from Corpus. She worked with me and Vic down in
Hey, Rachel.
In the corner. Yeah. This is Nick. He got here, or he left 1 semester before you got here. So I think that if this rule goes through, what teams do you think will take part? It's hard to say. Honestly, like this will really divide out which owners are kind of like scumbags in a sense, or like going to that are just bad people. That are just bad people in general. It's gonna really kind of weed them out if it goes through. But yeah. So I think that it just, you can't really tell just yet, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's definitely early, but I definitely think you see in the off season the playoff teams are like teams that are, don't have good draft positions, or let's say, for example, I know what team was it, Austin, that only had 4 draft picks this year? Was it
There's a lot of teams. So like the Saints only had like
yeah, the
4 draft
Saints. The
picks.
Saints are a great example.
Yeah.
Teams like that who
Draft
know they
picks.
have late positions in the draft, they're going to use this as an escape.
And
route,
they're like 2 pieces away. They're 2 pieces away from being a contender, and they're gonna be like, oh, bam, head coach or not head coach. They're not gonna get Sean Payton, but bam, general manager, 10 spots up now. Like you went from 20 to 10.
Yeah.
And you just robbed a team that actually needs it of that selection.
Yeah, I don't agree with this, and I think there needs to be like I don't know. I just want to read up more on it, on the proposal itself, look at the fine details, because like I said, this is extremely forced, and I disagree with everything.
It's very forced. I completely agree with you. But anyway, yes, thank you, Rachel. We appreciate it. We really appreciate it. But yeah, she works with an SID, I believe, correct? If that's the right term for it. She works underneath Marshall. I don't know if you know who Marshall is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She works underneath Marshall, and she traveled with the girls basketball team this year.
Solid.
And a couple other teams, I would assume. But
mainly
it was just, yeah, and all the girls loved her. She's great. She's awesome. She's cool. I can't say anything better about Rachel. She's my desk mate, like my desk neighbor. She sat right over here from me, so it's just But anyway, moving on. Aaron Rodgers is him retiring as a Packer is now in doubt after I'm assuming they selected Jordan Love in the draft. Does this kind of prove Brett Favre's point right? They kind of burned a bridge by drafting a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's the same thing that happened to Brett Favre whenever they drafted Aaron Rodgers.
True. It is, actually. It is. I didn't think of it that way.
We're getting the same treatment here. Aaron Rodgers sees it as hey, Aaron, we have a escape plan for you, or whatever you want to call it, emergency plan whenever you aren't doing so well. And before it was like Aaron was like, okay, I'm the guy. I don't have to worry about this next guy coming up. I'm good. I'm solid. Let's draft position-skilled players. Let's draft a wide receiver in the
let's draft a Jerry Jeudy or a CeeDee Lamb or I think they had the 17th pick.
Let's draft a guy. Let's not draft the 4th running back, or let's not fix our offensive line. So as soon as he saw the Jordan Love pick, I definitely see it as basically what happened to him and Brett Favre.
They're Brett Favre'ing him.
Yep,
it's really what it is. I just think. But here's a better question: If Aaron Rodgers leaves, where do you think he goes? Does he go warmer? And, kind of maybe like a tropical, I don't know, like Jacksonville, for instance? They're probably going to need a quarterback in a couple years because they're going to completely destroy Minshew somehow, some way.
I don't believe in the Minshew hype at all.
I do. I kind of do, but they need an offensive line, which they don't have.
O-line. They do. And I think Leonard Fournette saved him, but that's another topic for another day. I don't know. I see, as crazy as this sounds,
Patriots, maybe?
The New England Patriots.
Oh, yes. I like it, actually.
I see it because him and Bill would get along really well. Really, really well. Really, really
I feel like they would. Yeah, because, in a sense,
Rodgers
is like a junior Brady.
You got to realize that Bill's on his back end of his career as a coach, I would assume. He's not looking,
got 5 seasons left.
He's not looking to bring in a young quarterback and teach him the ways of the playbook. Or
he's not going to get anything out of it.
Right, he's not looking. He doesn't have time for that. He's in a win now mode. He's always been like that. He's looking for somebody who has already, established himself.
Apparently not with Jarrett Stidham now coming in as a quarterback. Just saying.
Like I said, I think this is just. I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't think that. Week 1, Jerry Stidham is not. He's not going to be the guy. He's not.
I don't think so either. I'm not buying it.
So, but I definitely think the Patriots is the move for Aaron Rodgers if he were to go anywhere.
It's definitely not going to be this season. I don't think it's going to be this season. I don't think it's going to be next season. But I think that he's going to earn as much money as he can in this process, and then take a deal worth like $10 million for another team.
Yeah, fair enough.
That is contending, that needs that extra oomph. Maybe like a Saints team, whenever they realize hey, Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston ain't they're not it.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes to them and plays for Sean Payton. I don't know. There's a bunch of different options and a bunch of different ways that he can go, but
at the end of the day, Aaron wants to win, so he's going to go to a winner.
But he's fading though. This last season, he really just didn't do what he should have done.
Yeah,
but then again, you can also credit that to
the O-line.
lack of an O-line, lack of receivers, and it's just
Yeah,
there's a bunch of holes on that offense that needed to be
yeah,
filled that they didn't fill.
they
And
do.
running back was one of the ones they tried to, and they didn't need to,
They
you
do.
know. But it just is what it is. I thought that was pretty interesting. But moving on,
See how that pans out.
live sports is back, Nicholas. Live sports is back
What's back?
in the form of the amazing NASCAR circuit.
Oh god.
Live sport. Well, technically, no. This is gonna be the first ever live event, and it's like the Health Workers 400 or something like that, or something. I don't know. It's something like that. I haven't done too much research into it because let's be real.
I'm already yawning.
But like, can you see yourself like being that desperate? Be like, let's check it out.
Yeah, same thing with baseball. It'll never come down to that point. I promise
No.
I'll play a NASCAR video game before I watch NASCAR. I'm not watching 50 cars driving a circle for 2 hours. But people watch NASCAR to watch them crash. I'm sorry, that sounds very bad and extremely like wrong or whatever. But people watch
But
NASCAR.
is it wrong? No, you know what I mean.
No, it's the truth. Like people watch NASCAR to see crashes and fights with the driver.
Honestly, it's so bad that that last big crash that they had. I can't remember who was in it, but that's probably the most coverage that I've seen NASCAR get, and I couldn't tell you how long.
Can you name 10 NASCAR drivers? Go.
Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, and what's his name? Martin True Jr.
I said 10, man.
Oh, 10? I thought you said 5. Dang it! Oh God. No, I can't. No, I can't. I really struggled for those 5. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't. I don't even. I don't even want to.
I would say Dale Earnhardt Jr., but he doesn't even race anymore.
No,
Like
I was
all
about
the
to say
guys
that.
that I used to know are just so. I guarantee you, if you put me in front of a TV with NASCAR on the board, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know him. But it's not like I know them at heart.
No, not at all. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, with MLB, NASCAR, with hockey, like if it comes back, it comes back great. No, I'm still not tuning in.
Thank you for saying hockey. Thank you for saying hockey. Just trying to.
I'm
prove
sorry
here.
to all
Just
the
trying to prove a
viewers
point.
that may
Nobody's
watch
ever going to see this that I
hockey.
want to see this because of that what you just said. But God, hockey is so irrelevant.
Look, shout out to everybody who likes hockey because I give you credit where credit is, I guess, due. But I can't watch hockey. I'm sorry, that's boring.
Yeah, see, Dale Earnhardt was probably whenever Dale Earnhardt died, that's probably the most coverage that it's gotten since then.
Yeah.
Sadly, as much as I hate to say it.
Rachel, name us 10 NASCAR drivers without looking it up.
Yeah, if you can, I'll be really
I'll
surprised.
cash up you $1.
Now she's really just gonna go look it up. What? You just gave her an incentive to. Oh, but yeah. So, and then obviously, UFC's kind of like UFC came out,
Yeah, that's all.
and had their big event with Justin Gaethje and Cejudo, all these other boys that came out and fought and won. What did you think about? And I know you saw clips. Everybody's seen clips whenever somebody has a good knockout, whatever. What did you think about no fans?
I mean, I don't like it. Once again, it takes away from the excitement of it. I think for UFC though and boxing, it may be a little bit different. Does that make sense? Because I think that
Danica Patrick. Oh, she's still racing?
yeah, she is. That's actually a good one.
Is she? I didn't know.
Sorry, Danica. I forgot about Danica. Shout out to Danica Patrick. You're great. Forgot. I totally.
She was like a celebrity crush of mine, like back in the day. I don't know if you know that.
Isn't she
I thought
dating?
she was very
She dating
attractive.
Aaron Rodgers.
No way, she's not.
Yeah. What's good, people? The Fern
What's
Chronicles.
good? The Fern Chronicles.
Is that your friend? I don't know.
No, but I definitely gonna have to check out the Fern Chronicles, maybe.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all, or you if you're doing it by yourself. Shout out to you. But anyway, going back to it, sports. No
Sports and no
fans.
fans?
Yeah, no fans.
Once again, basketball and football. Imagine football without no fans.
They couldn't hot mic people. They couldn't.
No,
They
not
couldn't.
at all.
Because
Not
you
at
could hear everything.
all. Everything. Yeah, we for sure. Shout out to you, Fern.
Yeah, shout out to you.
But and then basketball, same way. I mean, you have guys like Draymond and CP just cussing up a storm on the court. Nobody could have there couldn't be any type of microphone anywhere near the court. But I also think it takes away from like the motivation of players. Honestly, if I'm a player and I don't have fans in my stadium, regardless of if I'm being nationally televised, it takes away from the excitement of it. I don't feel the same motivation. I don't feel that energy when I come out of the tunnel for warm ups. Like it just takes away and drains the whole like aura of basketball. I dislike it.
Let me let's put a pause on that. The Fern Chronicles actually came out and said, "What do y'all think about Ferguson losing the Khabib bout?" Now, I'm more into the fight than I'm more into UFC than Nick is, and my opinion on it is the fact that nobody is going to. No, please, ESPN, don't take away our turn away. No, but my take on it is the fact that Khabib's just the number 2 pound for pound fighter right now. I see it happening, of course. I don't like Ferguson to begin with. I think he's kind of overhyped. I think that kind of showed. But whenever you got a monster like Khabib, we talked about it on our podcast this week on, I believe, the Tuesday episode, Nick, right?
Yeah, Tuesday episode.
Yeah. Nobody's touching Khabib. This man is fighting grizzly bears in the Arctic Circle up in Russia. Nobody's touching this man. This man's he's throwing hands with bears and winning.
Like, you're not beating him.
Conor wants him. Conor definitely wants him right now. And he's going to get smacked. He just wants it for that last paycheck. Yeah. And he just wants to just go out there, get smacked, and be like, hey, I got $30 million in the process. Yep. Doesn't matter.
Yep. That's what the same thing would happen with the Mayweather fight. He had no business going and boxing Mayweather. None at all.
He put up a lot better fight than I thought he would.
No, he did.
I watched that fight from start to finish, and he did a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, for sure. But he just wanted to get beat up for a bag. That's all it really was. Did the UFC end up doing their fights on that private island? I don't think it was.
Not yet. Yeah. It is currently in the process. I've actually heard a lot about that. It is currently in the process, and they actually want Khabib's next fight to be on Fight Island. Because he was having a whole lot of problems with traveling. He didn't want to travel, and the fact that he couldn't, with the coronavirus whole situation, he didn't want to travel. And so to another state or another country that had the coronavirus and then potentially getting it there and then not being able to leave. That's why he didn't come to UFC 249 or whatever. I can't remember. I can't keep up with all the names, let's be real.
Yeah.
269 or I don't know what it was. But that's why he couldn't come. That's why he lost his title belt temporarily. And, but yes, they want Khabib's next fight to be on Fight Island.
I mean, so the private island thing, there'll be no fans too as well?
Yes, without a doubt.
I mean, whatever they got to do to bring it back, I'm pretty sure if they put it on the island, if you put Khabib on the moon, people are gonna watch it.
He's still winning.
Still winning. And people are gonna choose.
I really wish that it was it would be a fair fight if him and John Jones got in the ring. Lord knows that Khabib would get smacked.
He would. John Jones would put up a fight, but John Jones crack.
No, John Jones is winning. John Jones is winning without a doubt.
But he needs to stay off crack.
Yeah, he just definitely needs to not get behind the wheel of a moving vehicle while intoxicated, and definitely needs to stay off that blow. Without a doubt.
Sorry, let's do it. We all want to. Facts, right?
Yeah, no, we do. Because we all want to see, if we're going to have live fights, we want to see at least good fights. Good fights. I understand, this whole interim title weight, stuff is cool, but there was no big names outside of Ferguson and Gaethje, but
yep.
They really big, names. No Conor, there's no Khabib, there's no John, there's no wait, wasn't Cormier? Daniel Cormier?
He retired.
Yeah, he did retire, but wasn't he calling those games or those fights? I'm
pretty sure he was. I think he was an announcer on the side. Yeah.
Something like that. He was there.
Yeah.
But no. Anyway, unpausing the fans thing. You're completely right. And whenever you and I on the. By the way, everybody who doesn't know. We Nick and I played and made we made the club team at our college. We played other club teams from other D1 universities, and we would even go and play junior colleges on the road while just practice games. Whenever we went to that tournament in March, our March Madness of club team or club tournaments.
Yeah.
Whenever we would get those that UTSA game, where it was just energy, fans. It was just great. I loved every bit of it. But like, whenever we'd go play these junior colleges, there'd be like 6, 7 fans and like other junior college teams, and it'd just be like nobody cared.
I mean, think of it from an intramural standpoint. Austin, like, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you played intramural, you're a scrub." Okay, we're not talking about the competition. Think about it from this. You remember when we used to play like just random teams of nerds or whatever that we used to just bust by 40, and then we play a fraternity. You remember that our freshman year when we played fraternity, and you have the whole fraternity
there. Yeah.
I mean, do you remember feeling that energy? Like you, like, okay,
yeah.
I'm trying to bust them because I'm trying to make fans excel. Like it's a different type of vibe that you get, and the NBA players and NFL as well, they know that too.
Hold on, time out. John Jones versus I don't know how you say his last name. I still think that, well, like I just saw him fight, and I believe I'm pretty sure he's the one that had the 20-second knockout this go around. But I can't go against John Jones. John Bones Jones. They call him Bones for a reason. Like,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Dude's just, until I see him lose, like legit, not like some unanimous decision or anything. Like until I see him get knocked off, I'm completely going John Jones without a doubt over anybody. He's the pound for pound best fighter, right? According to UFC, I'm definitely going John Jones without a doubt.
Yeah, I don't even watch UFC like that, and John Jones scares me, and I'm not even in the same vicinity as him. He scares me. I'm sorry.
All right, but going back to it, yes, I completely agree with you. It was totally fun. Oh, snap crackle! Look, hey, no, get down! What are you doing, dude?
I just saw the door open. I was like, huh?
I didn't know who it was. Dang, Bo came up in here.
Austin.
Yeah, dang, Bo came up in here. But no, without a doubt, you know, it's just, I wouldn't want to play in front of fans, or I wouldn't want to play without fans. I wouldn't want to play a football game without fans. You couldn't even mic the teams up because everybody's gonna be hearing what they say if they do, and no coach is gonna want to go out there and be like, oh yeah, let's put a mic on our quarterback so that way they know our audibles and they know like our plays and all this other stuff. And it's just,
it's not worth it.
It's not. It's completely not. But you know, that's okay. So that's all that that I had planned. Nick, if you want to throw some things out there, you're our improviser here. But other than that, we'll be looking to the comment section to maybe give some opinions, some unpopular opinions, maybe. Some debate topics. Yeah, debate topics.
I mean, my first one we talked about the other day, Austin, is Russell Westbrook a top 10 player in the NBA right now?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
I gave you my list. My list goes LeBron, and this is in no order.
No order.
Kind of. LeBron, Giannis, AD, Kawhi, Harden, Dame, Steph, Luka, Jokic. That was it, right? That's 10? Yeah. That's my 10.
Wow. I'm actually surprised. Okay, look, and I understand you're not a Doncic hater. You just aren't on the Doncic train.
I don't believe in him. It's not that I don't believe in him. It's just that it's early. It's very early.
Very early. It's second year.
Yeah,
I'm completely on the Doncic train. 100% on the Doncic train.
Yeah.
He's
good. He's good. I mean, the only the thing that not catches my eye, but the thing I give respect for Luka is and I know I hate to relate this to 2K, but his 2K rating went up 12 in the span of 2 months. That never happens. Never.
No, never.
Never. And I mean, this is a 2-year player. A second-year player in the MVP race.
True.
He's a top 10 player. He was
top 3 in MVP. He was behind LeBron and behind. Remember? Maybe it was AD. No, it wasn't AD. I can't remember. He was
LeBron. Yeah, LeBron, Giannis, and
Giannis. My fault. I don't know why.
Rachel had a thing.
Thoughts on The Last Dance ending Sunday? I like how you use the hashtag too.
I know. I like that too. Bring in viewers.
It's, I feel like it's been such an up and down roller coaster. It's one episode's really good, second episode's really bad. One episode's really good, really bad. Really good, really bad. It's been such an emotional roller coaster to the point to where I'm just I want to see how it ends. And I'm going to be pissed because we don't have anything else to look forward to now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm grateful for the fact that they split it up. I'm glad they didn't just drop all 10 on Netflix and it's hey, Everybody go
Right.
watch it in one day.
Yep.
So I'm grateful that they did that. But yes, I am gonna be in mourning after it's all said and done. I think everybody besides Scottie Pippen is gonna be in mourning.
Because well, this is their 10 seconds of fame in this generation.
Yeah, facts. I think Scotty is ready for this thing to be over with because I mean he's tainted out to be a bad guy right now. Scott Burrell, sorry, buddy, but I know you're ready. I know you're ready for this to be over. Scott had a very long little dedication though. His was pretty long. I mean, he had like a whole 10 minutes on Scott
For
Burrell.
only being on the team for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, nobody. My dad doesn't even remember him. My dad watched Jordan and the Bulls like dedicated. He don't even remember Scott Burrell.
Bad, no, real.
But which episodes are you not a fan of?
There was quite a few, honestly. 1 and 2 were great. I didn't like the Dennis Rodmans. I didn't like them. What was it?
I think that was
Wait,
2.
no, 1, 2.
I mean, not 2.
2,
That's 3. That was 3. Dennis Rodman was the third one.
Okay, so he was 1, 2, 3, 4. He was 5 and 6. So 5 and 6, I wasn't really a fan of. And 7, no, not 7, 8.
No,
My fault, 8.
Yeah,
5, 7, and 8. Everything else has been top notch to me.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think Dennis's was on the back end of it. It's not that I didn't like it. I enjoyed it, but I mean,
You're just coming off that high. You know what I mean?
yeah. There's a lot of stuff about Dennis that I didn't know though. Like I didn't know about the gun incident. I didn't know about that.
Or the you didn't really?
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know.
Oh, that was really big. That was actually a real big thing.
I didn't know this was the end of his bad boy.
I didn't know about the 48 hours. I did not know about that. That was a good thing.
Oh yeah. I don't think a lot of people did. That was a good point too. 8 wasn't. I wasn't a fan of 8 either.
It was just like Lonnie said on the podcast, back and forth, like constantly.
I didn't like that at all. But I mean, overall, I mean, I'd give The Last Dance also like an 8 out of 10, right? 8.5, maybe 9.
I definitely would give it like right in the middle. I'd give it like an 8, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty high for me, honestly. Like, I judge shows and documentaries because I watched a bunch of 30 for 30s back in the day, and to this day, I think that I definitely think to this day, the Bad Boys 30 for 30 is still my favorite ever in terms of documentaries. But I grade them critique them very hard, and I think that this has definitely been a good one.
The last 2 episodes are going to be important because they don't want to end on a bad note. And I hope that it's not boring. I hope that it's not repetitive. And I hope it's stuff that we don't know because this is going to be a defining moment. Just to finish off, I guess this also Scottie Pippen repping the Southland from Central.
I didn't know that they were in the Southland. Really?
I didn't know that either. Well, I did. Okay, Austin, we did know that, but we didn't know that he went. How do I say this? We knew that the Central Arkansas team was in the Southland. We just didn't realize they were in the Southland.
I'm sure we saw it on
conference.
TV too.
I didn't realize that they were in the conference at the time. Back then, obviously. So that's a good note. Shout out to Scotty, repping Southland.
Shout out to Scotty. Yep.
Trae Young is the real deal in the next 2 years. You spelled Trey wrong, Mama or Dad. Jesus Christ. How are you from Atlanta? He is the real deal in the next 2 years. There's no debate about that. What player does he compare to in the old school NBA? I mean, you're asking 2 generation millennium people. I don't think he resembles anybody.
He doesn't. Nobody.
He's Steph Jr. Like
maybe Steve Kerr.
Nah,
Steve Kerr was the only closest thing in terms of drop dead knockdown shooter that I can sit here and think about.
I don't think he compares to anybody. I just think that he is evolved from the generation of Steph, and I think there are more Trae Youngs to come. I really do.
Oh, without a doubt. Hands down. I have to agree completely.
He went to get some good sleep. Yeah. I've never heard of that. Like, hey, I'm an NBA player. I'm going to take a 48-hour vacation.
Never. Who does that?
It's only Dennis Rodman. Come on, man.
And so Carmen Electra, too. Oh, I know. Carmen Electra actually came out and said a fact that I'm not going to say on the live stream, but it's ridiculous.
Oh, it was about Dennis?
Yeah, it's about Dennis. Dennis and her and the practice facility. Let's just say that.
Okay, well, hey, look.
Yeah, we'll stop it there.
Yeah, we just end that conversation right there.
That is ridiculous. But no, Dennis was just a whole character in his own. I think Dennis's episodes were definitely the episode where you heard a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you've never seen before, and that's what everybody was looking for in this documentary. However, it was just too slow.
Yeah, it was. It
It was
was.
too slow. It was boring.
But yeah, hey,
Other than like 3 or 4 like things, the rest of it was just downhill. I just want to know, what do you think? Like you don't have, like, I'm talking to Rachel. You don't have like, or you haven't had one of those moments where you're just like, all right, this is kind of stale. Like, I just want to know.
good
What?
question. Good point. But yeah, back to the Russell thing. Do you think he's
Oh
a
yeah.
top 10 player?
Uh,
Out of all the
when
guys I named, who would he be above? That's all I'm asking you, basically. Because I think we can agree on that 10. As far as like 10 players that are arguably better than him.
right, right. That is so tough. Honestly, you're probably right. I can't just maybe Jokic. I think it's tough because Jokic is doing what it at a minor level. He's doing
Yeah.
what Russ does, effective in a way.
I just
Except
think
Jokic can probably shoot the three better.
that's a good point too. I just think being able to average triple double as a center,
Ridiculous.
without
It's ridiculous.
ball
He doesn't
control,
get the respect that he deserves. To be
not at
honest
all.
with you.
Not at all. He is the best center in the NBA.
Well, that's a bold take in itself.
Who's better than him, Austin? Who? There's Embiid, Cat,
Cat?
Boogie when healthy.
I would definitely put Cat in that conversation. You could probably put. I mean, if let's be real, if he handles the ball more, he's a great ball handler for his size. You can't deny it. And I mean, if he handles the ball like Jokic does he kind of creep up in there?
Yeah, I just think that Cat, he's a very
Is Cat
soft.
better than Russ?
No, I'm not gonna reach that far. I don't want to. Nah, I'm not gonna reach that.
So
far.
then, okay, yeah,
I'm
okay.
not gonna reach that far.
All right.
I have
thoughts
my hate for Russ, but
on Russell Wilson never receiving one MVP vote? That's ridiculous. Russell Wilson is, I will call him, he is the Robert Woods of quarterbacks. He is Mr. Underappreciated. Whenever he does great, nobody sees it. And it's sad because I love Russell Wilson.
I don't think he should ever have received an MVP. But
True.
not receiving one MVP vote, that's ridiculous.
Especially last season.
Yeah, I mean,
especially last season.
He is the Seahawks, and especially when remind me of the nickname for their defense back in the day.
Oh, Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom. Especially when they got broken up, like now it was all on Russ. Now it's like, okay, if we're gonna lose because of you. If we're gonna win because of you. So he put them on their back for the last couple seasons, and I mean, for him not to get one vote, ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he put up a very much like he was top 3 last year in my opinion on MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to not receive one vote, he was top 3, and he was 3. So for him not to receive one single vote is kind of ridiculous. I want to know what goes through these people's heads because, like I said, he is Mr. Underappreciated, and he is the Seahawks, like Nick said. So she said.
Episode 6, I'd agree. The middle episodes are a little slow. Best ones have been 1 and 2, and 7 with MJ crying.
7 was good, yes.
Yes, 7 I think was probably the best one because I think that was the one when he started. They asked him about the nice guy comment about how are you okay with basically tarnishing the idea that you're a nice guy, and that whole like 2-minute clip of him dissecting like why winning has its prices and whatever that's a lasting memory for sure. So I'd agree with her. I definitely say the middle episode was slow too, and then 1 and 2.
In a shortened version, because I know, Lord knows, everybody doesn't like to type, especially whenever you've been doing it as your career, and as many times as I know what you type. I know what you type, and I wouldn't want to type after work either. But I want to know your opinion. Should he, like? I know you saw my tweet. Should he, like, is it bad that he had to, like, sit there and defend himself? Like, he actually had to, like, break down and defend himself and he cried over it. Like, you know, at the end of the day, he doesn't want to be known as a bad guy, but he knows he wasn't a nice guy. And I think it kind of got to him to the point to where he had to defend himself, and he shouldn't have to defend himself. You don't see Russ over here trying to defend himself. You don't see KD, the awful teammate that he is, trying to defend himself. Like, I just don't think that he had any business trying to defend himself.
Yeah, at all. And I think that the overall theme was that everybody already. Where did this nice guy narrative even come from? Like everyone knew he was a quote
Exactly.
unquote bad guy to his
Yes.
team. Everybody knew that. So for him to come out and have to defend that was, I agree with you, it was unnecessary. But I think that, how do I say this? It's not that it saved the documentary. I think it overall, like it's the theme for the documentary. Like I did whatever it took to win,
Win.
and I did not ask my teammates to do anything I wasn't willing to do myself. That is the overall theme. No matter how much of a expletive that he was with Scott Burrell, he knew that he was doing the same that he wanted Scott to do. Same thing for Scotty. Same thing for Dennis. All of them.
It
And they
didn't
know
really
that.
pan out for
You know the
Scotty,
interesting
but
thing too that I don't think we like brought up, Steve Kerr fight.
true.
I didn't know Steve swung first.
I didn't even know they swung to begin with,
I
honestly.
knew he hit him in the eye. I knew that he hit him. I read about that before, but I didn't know Steve swung first. I didn't know.
Can you just imagine 5'11" Steve Kerr looking at like 6'4" Michael Jordan to be like, yo, back up. Just like one time, just boom, just smack. You know what I mean?
He was getting interviewed. He was like, I mean, I saw him driving in the lane. I gave him a shot right in his chest. And imagine, I mean, Mike was just like, yeah, and then I just punched him in the eye. Like, it's so funny.
He's in here, he's kind of like, hey, just down.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
straight,
yeah.
like jabs
Yeah.
down, you know what I mean?
Heal, little bro. Sit
But
down.
Rachel said I don't think MJ was bad, but I think in order to be the ultimate competitor and winner, you have to be, for lack of a better word, an asshole. I don't condone punching her in the face, though.
Yeah.
True, and even though he's apologetic about that now, you know, it's just one of those things. I think everybody's gonna have one of those moments in practice where they all regret. Every athlete will, even like now. Like I can say that I've had some regrets, but
I mean, I don't. I have to disagree with Rachel. I don't think that, and don't take it as any disrespect, Rachel. I just don't think that. I don't think you have to be an a-hole because if you look at great dynasties, Spurs, I don't think.
oh, true.
I don't think. I think Pop is an a-hole. I think he is on the low.
Without a doubt, no, not on the low.
And I think LeBron can be as well. But those two guys, I mean, at the end of the day, they want to win, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win. And that can be one of those things. I don't think you have to be an a-hole to win. I think it just can be an option.
LeBron's a jerk in game. I
In
don't
game,
think he's
definitely.
like that in practice whatsoever. And obviously he's not like that outside of school, outside of the league or the game. Great dad from what I can see. Great husband. Great person. Just I just think that on the floor he sits there and they catch him. They
Yeah,
always want to catch
yeah.
LeBron spazzing out on somebody,
Yep.
and he does.
JR.
Yeah, no, bad. No, exactly. Like and I can agree, but I can disagree also. Yes.
My dad, my dad definitely has the phone. Should the NBA season continue with all teams in Disney World?
Like we talked about, it's just too many variables.
Too many. I don't think I disagree with it. I would want to see it though. I would want to see how that pans out because if we're being honest, they're going to turn into a reality show. They're going to have cameras following them all the time, whether they're going to the game, practice, or whatever. They're back to their little hotel room in Disney World. I would like to see that. I disagree with it though, if that makes sense.
Good from a marketing standpoint,
For sure, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
and bad for business, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
No, they're going to get a lot of backlash for it.
I like the fact I like the summer league type of feel that it would have because
Yeah.
like I said, the summer league doesn't get like fans anyway,
Yeah.
and
And
so
they
for that
bring,
matter,
they bring all teams to a central location. So.
yeah. But then again, like I said, you don't know where those guys have been before they got on the plane. And I guarantee you, and they have not disclosed, they will no longer disclose positive tests for coronavirus. But I know right now, I can guarantee you at least one NBA player has it.
Facts. And me and my dad were talking about it the other day too, is like, if just think about this headline, like, oh, hey, 300 and whatever NBA players were tested for coronavirus before they started playing. Well,
the test can be wrong.
yeah, that too. If I'm a regular citizen that can't get access to a test or I can't pay for a test or whatever, how does that look?
That actually need it.
Right. Exactly. How does that look? I don't like the ethics in that either.
It's just there's just so many things that could happen in terms of
Mhm.
the wrong than there is the rights. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
We'll
it's
see
just
we'll see what Adam Silver said. What, 2 to 4 weeks, right?
yes, they would reevaluate. Yeah, they would reevaluate the whole situation, see what happens. And
Right.
by the way that it's looking, I guarantee you something's gonna happen. There's gonna be some sort of season startup, I think.
Yep.
But Rachel says that being an a-hole seems to be the trend for winning championships. Brady, MJ, and have 6 rings. Yeah, but then like we said, Pop and Spurs got 5. They're not jerks. I mean Kobe. Well,
Kobe didn't start being a heel till he was by himself.
true. Yeah, true.
Until Shaq left. That's when he was like, okay, I got to get on my teammates, and it worked for him. It worked, but like I said, it just depends on what type of leader you are and what type of team you have built around you. Because like we talked about, Pop's not like that to a certain extent, and then LeBron's definitely not like that. So
I think she may have a point, honestly, because I'm sitting here. I think the Spurs are kind of an outlier. Think about it.
yeah,
I actually think they are. I think you're kind of right, Rachel. To be 100% real with you, I just
and but like in the Spurs system, it kind of works differently because they're not like, how do I say this? Like their decisions aren't player led. Does that make sense?
yes.
Their system works from top down, not middle down.
Right.
You know, compared to the Heat or the Cavaliers, which wasn't led by Tyronn Lue or Eric Spoelstra. Like,
Let me ask you something. So, MJ. I understand MJ still got his $30 million cap space, like his $30 million contracts, all this other stuff, right?
right?
What's they still built a good team. Obvious, like what is going on with LeBron's team here? Like why are they always the ones that they have good foundational players whenever he gets there, and then by that time by the time he leaves they're just terrible, and that's why he leaves. Let's be real, that's why he leaves, because he realizes that they're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with like the age of his team. If you look at the Heat, he built his team to like it was a win now only. Like it was like, okay, let's go get Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Rashard Lewis are on the back end of their careers. In Cleveland, it was the same way. Let's go get Dante Jones, Richard Jefferson, and James Jones, and all these guys who are just gonna sit in the corner and watch me dribble, and then when I kick to them, shoot the ball. So I think it has a lot to do with the age of these teams. He's never been on a team in which he's had a young core, and when he did, look what happened. Look what happened. Yeah, he got disassembled fast.
My thing is, I just think everybody knows LeBron runs the team. I just don't think LeBron's a good team manager, or my fault, like a good assistant GM. I think that he carries a lot of weight with what he says, and he ultimately at the end of the day has the say, a big say in the people that they draft. Hold on, Mr. White, we'll get there real quick. I just want to let you know this. Just wait. Anyway, but I think that he tells them who to draft. He knows who he wants. He tells them who he wants. They go out and get him. I just think that he is an awful team builder, without a doubt.
For sure.
He's an awful team builder. Because, in the documentary they said, hey, Jordan came in and was like, hey, I want this guy, I want this guy. For instance, he was like, hey, I want, what's it called? I want, Harper. Ron Harper.
Ron Harper.
Yeah, and they went out, they got him. And like they said, I watched a podcast with MJ's trainer in it. They're like, yeah, he wasn't there, so Michael was like, hey, get Hart into shape, and that's what he did. But I just think that MJ was a better team builder than LeBron is too. I just don't think that LeBron knows what the right pieces are, what he needs, and at the end of the day, it's just. It shows.
But that had a lot to do with Jerry too. Jerry Krause. As much backlash he gets, he's the one that brought in Kukoc. He's the one that brought in Dennis Rodman. He's the one that traded up to go get Scottie Pippen. LeBron's never been in an organization. Maybe Miami. Miami could argue for it. Pat Riley did a good job there. He's never been in an organization in which they had great executives that were willing to make moves, such as moving up in the draft or go getting key free agents. He's never had that, never. So as much backlash or dislike that Jerry Krause gets, he did a great job doing his job. Does that make sense?
Right. I would just think out of 3 teams, they would hit on a draft pick. They would hit on an undrafted free agent. Something, because like I said, the Spurs do it, the do it, the Rockets do it, and Isaiah Hartenstein trying to coming on. Just wait for it now. Wait for it. But
wherever Doc Rivers goes, they seem to do the same thing as well. Doc Rivers has hit on a lot of key free agents as well. Not so
and draft picks. I mean, let's be real. I mean, you draft Shamet in the back end of the draft. He's a good role player.
No. Shamet came from the Sixers.
Shamet did come from the Sixers. You're right.
I think he was there when they drafted Blake.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He
joined that team with CP in the.
But Montrezl Harrell.
They got it in trade. They got Montrezl in trade from the Rockets. Okay, so he's making the right trades though to get the right people.
That's what I'm saying.
He's the president of the team.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, but I just think that, like I said, LeBron can't build a team to save his life. He just can't. How many? Hold on, wait, real quick. Russell Westbrook is not a 3-point guard. That is the problem. He's a shooting guard, Mr. White. A shooting guard does exactly what the title says, and he can't do that.
Thank you, Father. He wears 2 shooting sleeves, and he can't shoot.
He can't shoot.
He's not a shooting guard. I'll tell you what. He wants to be, but he can't. He can't.
Tried to be this season. And what happened at the beginning of the year? They were trash.
Broke.
They were in 6th place, and then James had to start, doing his thing, and Russ just had to drive to the basket. Everybody clear out. Let's get rid of Capella. Everybody clear out. I'm going off in the paint, shooting 15 times.
I low-key forgot they don't have Clint anymore. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's the worst move I've ever seen in my life, and this small ball thing has to be the worst thing I've ever seen in NBA history.
They robbed Clint.
Once again, is this 1969 in the ABA? Are we really running a 6'7" dude as our center?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't understand it at all. PJ shouldn't be playing the 5. Rachel says, how many more rings would the Bulls have gotten if Jerry and the owner kept the team together? I'm saying at least 2.
No, I'm
saying at the minimum 2. They're smacking Olajuwon.
8. They would have 8 total.
They're smacking Olajuwon and old Clyde Drexler. Jesus Christ.
Because if you keep Jordan happy to where he doesn't leave and retires and goes plays baseball, plays baseball.
What team won the
championship?
What team won that year?
Nope. No. Let me look. Keep going with that.
Because it wasn't the Knicks. Because the Knicks beat the Bulls. So who did the Knicks play in the? Anyways, but while Austin looks that up, definitely Rachel. I definitely think at minimum 2. I think Jordan was on his way out as far as his prime after, if you were to consider those 2. But they're definitely dominating the Rockets, who are the best team in the NBA at that point. So I definitely have to agree with you.
So who did they?
What? I want to say, it wasn't Knicks. It was the Knicks and somebody in the finals because the Bulls lost.
Playoff finish. Let me just look at. Okay, I should know it here pretty quick. The winner was Houston.
Okay. Once again, running through Olajuwon and company.
Played the Knicks.
In that 94 season.
You played the Knicks. Calm down. So, yeah. Houston actually beat Utah, which... God, that was Utah's year!
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. That was their year to do it when Jordan wasn't there, and they folded.
Can we talk how they did best of 5s back in those days? I didn't know that either.
That's a good point. I did remember that they did play best of 5. I think it was only in the first round, though.
Yes, it was. It was only in the first round.
I was only in the first round. I like that.
I think it just gets it. Honestly.
Yeah, most of that is just 1 through 8. anyway. One in 8 seeds, 2-7. Like
You may have like one series every year that goes the distance to 7, but other than that, everything doesn't get past 6 usually.
Just go ahead and get those 3 games out the way, and let's move on
Exactly. Not bad. Plus, there'd be more upsets too. Low key, there would be. Think about that.
Yeah, for sure. Because then teams are gonna have to fight every game. They don't have the option to kick back.
And I think that would bring actually a better element to the game too, because that's what everybody likes about March Madness. That's what keeps people coming into March Madness games, is the fact that they can see upsets.
For sure. And if you think about it, like imagine like playing all 7 games of the series every series. I mean, you're possibly playing 28 games. Like that's a lot of basketball after you already played 81 or 82. I'm sorry, that's too much basketball.
Well, who won the 1990? He retired in '98. So who won the 1999 NBA Finals? Hold on, NBA Finals. Oh, wait a minute. How did I not know this? The Spurs won it, yeah.
Duncan and Robinson.
99 was our first year that we ever won it, yeah.
What do you beat them?
Yes. That seems awful.
Who did y'all beat in that?
The Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Knicks, bro. Poor Knicks. God, that's awful.
Good look.
No, but we had Avery Bradley. We had, I think, Mario Ellie.
Avery Johnson.
Wait.
You said Avery Bradley.
I said Avery Bradley, didn't I?
That's
so
Avery
sad.
Johnson.
Avery Johnson, the 5'2" wonder himself.
Sean Elliott.
Mario Ellie, Sean Elliott, Tim Duncan, David Robinson.
That's a good team. But like you said, nobody's guarding Jordan.
Nobody's guarding Jordan.
Tim Duncan would have a good series, maybe.
And that was the strike. In Shaq's terms, that was the year that everything was shortened, so it shouldn't really matter. Yeah,
that's true. I forgot about that. Was what was that? What was wrong with that year?
It was strike.
CBA
stuff.
Yeah.
My thing is timeout. Everybody had a shortened season. Shaq was playing in that league. He was with the Lakers. Am I wrong? In '99, in 2000 they won the title.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it matter, buddy? Answer that question for me. You could have won the same exact title too. You won it the next year in 70. Whenever there were 72 games, why couldn't you do it whenever there were 66? Huh?
I don't like how people are coming out and saying
82.
like, oh, this season is gonna have an asterisk on it if you win it. No, it's not.
It doesn't matter.
No, it's not. This is still the NBA. You're not going out and playing against Girl Scouts. Like, this is still the NBA at the end of the day. You're still going against Giannis and Kawhi and all these players.
If they were to resume the season right now, in our day and age, I would still count the winners. Like, say if what's it called? If Giannis came and won the championship, cool. Giannis got a championship.
Yeah, like this is
Lakers fans would just be out there like, oh well, you needed all this rest and all this other stuff. LeBron got this rest too, homie.
Everybody got the same amount of rest. Everybody's rusty, quote unquote, and whatever you want to call it. Like, no, there's no asterisk. Like, a winner is a winner, regardless at the end of the day. It's annoying. I hate that.
So yes, to finally answer your question, yes, I agree with Nick. 2 championships is the minimum. If Jerry could have kept the team together.
Oh, I have a debate topic.
What?
And it can be like the last one if we're running out of time.
Yeah, this will be the last one.
Dak being third in MVP odds.
Oh, I knew that was honestly going to make its way in. See,
I have my thoughts.
Oh yeah, you have your thoughts. Oh, this is a great quarterback. Oh, he's awesome.
Yes, sir. There's a reason.
He's like the 5th most passing yards last year. Why is he not in top 10 or top 5 consideration?
Yep.
No, here's why. This man has literally all of the weapons around him. I hope to God he finishes in the top 3 of the MVP race. This team's about to make him look so good, it's ridiculous. And they're still going to get killed. Doesn't even matter. They're not going to the Super Bowl. And I honestly think, Rachel, this one's for you. Pat Mahomes is winning another one. He has no reason not to.
Oh, she's a KC fan?
She's from Kansas City. Or not Kansas. She's not. Wait. Refresh my memory. She's from the area.
She's from the Midwest.
She's from the Midwest. She's definitely from the area, like right around in that little area. She told me where she was originally from, But I think she put it in like broad terms. She's like, yes, I'm from Kansas City. It's like me saying, I'm from Tilden, Texas. But in reality, everybody's like, if I were to go to another state and everybody be like, where are you from? I'm going to be like, San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio. Or you can even argue Corpus if you want.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, my mom lives literally right in the middle of both. So I can go either way. But anyway, yeah.
Do you think it's fair, third, or do you think that's too high?
I'd definitely say he deserves to be top 5. So yeah, sure, third's fair.
I think third is too high.
So yeah, she is from KC. Yeah, Missouri.
KC Mo. Like, I'll vote him as long as they don't go 8-8. No, facts. They have to have at least 11-5 for him to. Not even 11. No, I'm definitely going 12-4 for him to go MVP. You can't lose 5 games in an MVP. I'm sorry.
See, but here's the thing. I'm fine with them going 8-8 because I know Dak's probably going to show out if he ever signs a freaking contract. He still hasn't signed his franchise tag. Just FYI out there.
True.
But I'm fine with him going 8-8 because it'll be the defense's fault. Because that defense is hot garbage every year. That's the only reason they aren't going to make it to the Super Bowl.
I think 3 is high, considering that we're basically saying that we're ignoring. I mean, if you take the top two are probably going to be Pat and Lamar. Definitely the top 2.
I think one of them has a down season to where they're not going to.
I don't think they have a down season. I think they stay at the top 2 for MVP odds. I think Christian McCaffrey works his way up into MVP odds.
I thought we were talking like the end of the season. That's who it was going to be. I think one of them either has an injury, one of them either gets hurt, or one of them either doesn't do like what he did the year before and slides from like 2 or 1 in terms of.
I think it's the opposite.
Like 5.
I think it's the opposite. I think Lamar has a very slow start. I think he has a very slow start. People start figuring him out, and then he has to adjust accordingly. I think that's going to be the trend for Lamar. But yeah, I think Dak's 3 is high, but everybody has to realize this. This is while we do have another weapon in CD, we still have a good O-line, we still have good 2 outside receivers with Ezekiel Elliott. We do not have Jason Garrett as our head coach. Everybody is forgetting that Mike McCarthy, who, while he might have been put in Aaron Rodgers' backpack, yes, he has a great offensive mind. He has a mind.
I don't think he was put in Aaron Rodgers'
backpack. I think he has a lot to do with that Green Bay offense that people discredit him for. We have a new system, ladies and gentlemen. It'll work. Now, yes, our defense needs some work because Jeff Heath has bricks for hands.
No, he's not even there anymore.
Oh, yeah, thank God. But I think we have
a Wouzier, Diggs,
Anthony Brown.
Sure, I don't even know him.
Clean Diggs.
Oh, true. Yeah, you got Haha. That's nice. That's very solid upgrade at safety.
We'll see how he does.
I mean, our line it's immediately an upgrade at safety for y'all. Y'all literally had no safeties last year.
Yeah.
Wait, Xavier Woods, right? He moved to safety.
He sucks. Man.
Right?
He sucks.
Actually, he's doing pretty decent.
Mike McCarthy was a great hire by Jerry. Oh, facts.
Yeah, not bad.
He's the best. He's the best candidate available. Without doubt. I didn't like the what's his name from Ohio State? Urban Meyer. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fit at all. I just
don't think Urban's ever going to come out of retirement for an NFL team.
Yeah, me too.
And last thing I'll say about this topic, I don't think anybody understands here. Just because there's an open coaching spot available doesn't mean that it's going to go to a first-year coach. So many people, for some reason, think that if there's a coaching spot open, these last few years, that's how it's been. If there's a coaching spot open, first-year head coach, bam, throw him in there.
Yep.
No, that's not always how it goes. Like, I hate people that were sitting there like, oh, Lincoln Riley, Urban Meyer, this, that, first-year coach, Salah, defensive coordinator for, the Niners. He could be there, all this stuff. It doesn't have to be a first-year coach. And I think that's where Jerry got it right. He got a guy that was seasoned, that can handle this seasoned team, and completely just 180 from what Jason Garrett was doing, and thrive.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like the pressure of putting a star under on your stripe. Like you got to realize when you come to the Cowboys, you're going to be put under a big spotlight. And I think Mike McCarthy did a good job of that in Green Bay because it was like, hey, we're out of the Brett Favre era. What are you going to do? Like, and he went out and won a chip. People forget that they won a championship over there. So it's like, that's why I think that was the best move for him because he's the best one he's the one that can handle all this pressure.
Very true. Very true. But with that being said, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I thought it was a great episode.
Definitely.
A lot of great topics. Thank you to Rachel, to the Pops himself, Mr. White. Thank you to the Fern Chronicles. By the way, we need to honestly look into them. You know what? Oh wait. Oh, I didn't know we could do that. Look at that. That's dope.
Austin,
dang it! I didn't know. Like, oh, that's clutch. I didn't know that. Holy cow.
Look,
anyway, the Fern Chronicles. Shout out to him, her, them. I don't know how many people there are. Maybe give them a look. No, they're not here, but still give them a look. They were here for a little while. But it is what it is. We appreciate everybody being here. We love and appreciate the support from everybody that is in our circle. And at the end of the day, couldn't have asked for a better turnout.
Thanks.
Nick?
Rachel, subscribe. Appreciate you coming out. And subscribe. Thank you for coming out, Pops, Mama. Appreciate the support. Hey, Lonzo Ball's the GOAT.
All right. With that being said, we'll see y'all later. Enjoy y'all's evening.
Oh, wait. Also, next episode is next Friday, Rachel. Sorry, I didn't address your question.
Yeah, Friday, Fundamental Fridays, like it says. So next episode every Friday, and I'm sure you already know. Once again, I tweet it out every day, or not every day that it goes live almost. Sometimes Nick does it, but check out the podcast, people. Check out the podcast. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe here. And, make sure to hit the post notification, the little bell. Just, ding, and ring that bell. But anyway, all right, people. We'll catch you later. Deuces.
Later. Oh,